Well, for more, we can go now to New Delhi. Our correspondent Mandakini Garlot is there. And Mandakini, tell us, why has the government decided to extend the lockdown now?
Yes, this is a fourth extension on a lockdown that began on March 25th and was due to expire at midnight today. Now, India had fewer than 500 confirmed cases and only 9 deaths when this lockdown began nearly 2 months ago. And as of today, as you said, the number of cases have surpassed 90,000. India also has the highest number of cases in Asia now. But of course, the country is still detecting cases at the rate of 4,000 cases each day. So with that in mind, the government had little choice but to extend this lockdown, which really has come at a huge economic cost. Over 120 million jobs lost in the last few months. The lockdown has also triggered a massive humanitarian crisis with millions of migrant workers stranded in the cities. Many of them have been walking thousands of kilometers every day trying to get to their villages. Dozens have died on the way. So a truly horrific tragedy as far as for the migrant workers now. So the government here is really trying to strike a very tricky balance between keeping everyone indoors as the number of cases spike and still restarting the economic machine so some people, as many people as possible, can go back to work with some restrictions.
And Mandakini, how strict are the lockdown measures in India and how do they vary across the country?
So just the very fact that we only had the fresh guidelines with hours to go before the deadline is an indication of how much the government has had to strike this balance that we were talking about. Now, most of the major restrictions remain in place, which means that schools, universities, flights, most trains, cinemas, shopping complexes will remain closed throughout the country, regardless of if people are in red zones or green zones or orange zones, which now each of these zones will have a different set of restrictions. And containment zones, which are areas with the highest number of cases, will have more restrictions than others. Now, we're still waiting on states to issue more specific guidelines. Construction activity has begun in some areas, which actually started over 2 weeks ago. And states are likely to announce the opening of several shops, marketplaces, and especially manufacturing units. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is that the economic powerhouses, the country's metro cities, Mumbai, New Delhi, and other urban areas are seeing the highest rise in the number of cases. So that upward spike, experts say, is likely to continue despite the lockdown still being in place.
Mandakini Garlot in New Delhi, thank you very much.